I think we're going to triple our views with this episode.
Why? Because my tongue was out for a little bit of it?
I think there's the algorithm.
Backdoors and Blindside starts now.
Backdoors and Blindsides has returned after 2 weeks off.
Yeah, we had Thanksgiving in there.
Holiday break, I guess, if we're going to try and find an excuse
for
not meeting up to do the show. We live together.
You are my husband. I've seen you in the last 2 weeks. You are in the flesh.
Some people might be checking this out for the first time. I had a chance to plug it on the main brand of the Chad Duke Show, which shout out, really cool to have that platform. So I got a couple messages over the last week that people are checking out Survivor, some from the top, some from just where we are right now in the show. And we are bringing you a full recap of Survivor 49. Today it's episode 11, Cherry on Top. It's our first time actually recording the show right after Survivor ends for the week, which is awesome.
And to be fair, last week was Thanksgiving, so it would have been tricky for us to kind of do it then anyways. But I will say I'm pretty nostalgic for Survivor itself around the Thanksgiving time frame.
Why?
Because just growing up, so it was always on either Wednesday or Thursdays. I believe it was on the Thursday spot historically for a long time.
Like at least a decade, right?
Yeah. And so it would fall on Thanksgiving. So we used to do 2 Thanksgivings. We used to do one Thanksgiving at one grandparent's house and then another Thanksgiving the same day.
Same day?
Same day.
Brutal.
A few hours later at another grandparent's house.
Unbelievably brutal.
Yeah. They all live in the same area. So like it's, not a big deal. But I remember there was one main TV at my night Thanksgiving grandma's house, and I would fight people to sit in front of that TV. I was like, fuck your football game. I'm watching Survivor. Okay. Because it was before DVR and shit like that. I'm talking like mid 2000s. I was probably, under 3 feet tall.
Well, you're not really like putting anyone's team off of the TV. It's like no one in your family is like super diehard like about any particular football team, right? So I can't imagine it was much of a fight.
It's not, but it was mostly me fighting with them, telling them to shut the fuck up so I could hear the TV.
Yeah.
And I'm planted right in front of it. I was like, I need to watch Survivor. Everyone shut up.
So it's been associated with the holiday for a long time.
Yeah.
Was it always 2 seasons a year? I feel like it has, right? It's been around for 25 years.
For a long time.
So there's like a spring and a fall season, or I guess starting in February is kind of a spring season, right? That's when Survivor 50 starts. I think it's February 25th.
Which, by the way, speaking of episode 9 and the slight recap we're doing there with that very, very brief, that is the first episode that I realized we watch on Hulu sometimes when it's not shitting the bed. And other times we watch on Paramount Plus if we're a little further behind, so we can just automate and skip through the commercials.
Shout out Paramount Plus, by the way.
Paramount Plus, real
climbing
hero.
the ranks as far as the top streaming services.
Well, Hulu's really given it to us lately.
Hulu's really been fucking us. Peacock canceled Peacock. This is really interesting. We're just telling people what we pay for and what we don't pay for. Paramount Plus. Shout out. We don't get paid. But that's where we prefer to consume our products. Star Trek 90210.
Anyways, I noticed the thumbnail on Hulu changed. It used to be, Jeff standing there with his arms crossed and it said Survivor in the background. And it was really nice because it paired with The Amazing Race, with Phil also doing a similar pose.
You're talking about like the thumbnail.
Yes, the thumbnail of the series, of the program. And then, Big Brother, it was Julie Chen Moonves standing there with the Big Brother logo next to her. It all made sense. The CBS, it all made sense. Now, what we have is Survivor 50 thumbnail. I'm like, guys, I need you to keep it in your fucking pants because it's not here yet. It's, again, another instance where they're basically just sweeping the 49 cast under the rug. No one gives a shit about them. Everyone's excited for 50 because we've been talking about 50 for goddamn 2 years, near 2 years now.
I would love to see like the reception of all of the seasons, right? Because the spring season, what just happened, 48, which was Kyle's winning season.
Yes.
They were campaigning for an Emmy because the Emmys fall after that season ends, like in CBS programming, right?
They got nominated. They didn't win anything.
But they were campaigning, and the whole time you were saying they're gonna work for an Emmy on this one. This is amazing.
And I think it was the same episode, or maybe episodes back to back. Jeff told a dick joke, and he cried. I'm like, this is the full range of Jeff emotions.
I thought you were going to talk about like the unbelievable moves that Kyle and Camilla pulled.
No. We're talking about Jeff.
Yeah, they were campaigning for an Emmy hard, and then this one, like, it's in between the Emmy season and the big one.
It's crazy. It's so clear that they just don't give a fuck about this season, and I feel bad for, the castaways. I do feel like it's going to be a blip on the radar, and if people are going to start watching Survivor, they probably start at 50. They might cherry pick some seasons that were ranked as good.
Well, that's probably why
acceptable.
They put the cast out ahead of time, right? So that you can kind of go back and watch the history of it all.
Yeah. But it just made me laugh a little bit. I was like, come on, guys, can we just please not share this thumbnail until it's actually Survivor 50? Why are we updating this?
Yeah.
And add it to the list of them just fucking season 49 over so hard. But speaking of episode 9, where I noticed this fun thumbnail change, is real quick. So basically, MC goes home in episode 8. In episode 9, we learn that the rest of the castaways who didn't go to tribal, remember, they were split for a second.
Yeah.
They were shocked that MC went home and it wasn't Sophie, i.e.
Yes.
Yellow Sophie. They were absolutely flabbergasted. They had no idea like why she was still here. She's this comp beast. She's a threat, whatever. She's still around. People are like, and then Alex went home that episode.
Yeah.
Because Rizo was like, he's playing the middle. And then he got Alex.
The last of the original Kella tribe.
No, Sophie's still in it.
Sorry, leaving Sophie as the last of the original Kella tribe is what I meant to say.
Yeah. So they, Alex and Soph couldn't align, and Alex went home. So then we jump to episode 10, where we have Yellow Sophie, IE, getting hella messy. We already saw her get messy with that MC vote. Like she was in this game of telephone and just made it worse for herself. That week we gave her, she outplayed herself on our three pillars award. Mm-hmm. In a weird way, she was able to save herself because she overplayed and what I thought was going to be the worst way possible. But here she is in episode 10 getting hella messy again. Basically, Sage goes to Sophie and says, hey, I want Savannah out. I've been wanting Savannah out since day one. Savannah was coming for me. We're kind of on opposite sides right now. We have to get Savannah and or Rizo while we still can.
Sophie, who is playing the middle and has been playing the middle.
Right. And remember, we just got Alex out in the previous episode 9, because he was playing the middle. So Sophie's sitting here with this knowledge that Sage gives her that she wants out Savannah. And Sage is extending an olive branch to her. Like, hey, let's align on a vote. Let's figure this out together. It's mutually beneficial. Let's do it. Sophie goes pitter-pattering back to Savannah.
What was that again?
Pitter-pattering.
Is that the sound of her footsteps, or is that the sound that she's making
it's
as she's
just
walking
general
along?
ambiance,
Okay.
I think. She just back over to Savannah. Hey, Sage and Jawan want to get you out. So this is a huge misstep for Sophie in this episode, in my opinion, because, okay, so right now we have what? 7 people? 8 people.
Yes, that was
8 people prior to who goes home in episode 10. We had 8 people. So instead of trying to build a motley crew with Steven, Christina, Jawan, and Sage, and having Sophie, IE, go over on that side to have 5 against 3, she decides she wants to be in the best place you could be in Survivor. 4th on the list of an alliance. She crawls over to Rizzo's Alliance. That's what I'm calling it because they refuse to name themselves, and I think it's Rizzo's Alliance.
Rizzo's Alliance sounds better than Savannah's Alliance. Too many syllables.
Yeah, Rizzo. It's the Riz God Alliance. Yeah. So she goes over there and says, "Hey, we've got a problem," basically, and they set their sights on Jawan, which I'm like, oh, thank God it wasn't Sage, but I was sick to my stomach watching this episode.
I love Jawan, man.
He's such a nice guy. He seems just so genuine. We even saw him in that episode being like, I want to cheer people up. I'm going to go fishing for them, and caught like the world's tiniest little guppy for them to, scrape some bones against their teeth. And once I saw that, I was like, that is not looking good for him. And basically Sophie flips. She tells Savannah actually uses an advantage. She uses her extra vote. She didn't actually need it. She could have pocketed it. They didn't need her extra vote to get Jawan out with how the vote shook out. Sage was absolutely blindsided. She was fucking pissed that she tried to confide in Sophie and work with her on something, and Sophie basically just fucking balled that up and said, "Fuck you, Sage. I don't fuck with that." And it was at this point, and we watched the episodes back to back. We're, again, a little behind here. But right after episode 10 ended, I looked at you and I said, she is not long for this game. Because, again, in episode 8, she was supposed to go home. We just got, punching the mic here, we just got this floater Alex out, right? Now Sophie's waffling back and forth between different sides. And she's fourth in the Rizzo Alliance. She is not close with Rizzo. She's old Hinna. Remember, these are two old Uli and an old Kella. So she's trying to come in and form this like strong bond with them when they're not at that level. She's kind of like jumping the friend zone level.
Yeah.
Like they friend zoned her and she's like, no, I want to be more than friends.
Do you think that she chose them because they held the power?
Yes.
Because Savannah kept winning immunity, because Rizzo had the idol, etc.?
And at this point in time, Rizzo is also killing competitions. I think we've seen a decline in him because he hadn't had any food.
Yeah, he hadn't been on a reward in a long time.
I know, but like it was showing in his performances where you're like, oh, Rizzo's going to kill this competition. It's like, oh, he shit the bed. Oh, okay. But yeah, so basically Sophie blindsides Sage. Sage doesn't see it coming. The thing that really pissed me off in this tribal was Savannah's looking over at Jawan like, oh, did you vote? Oh, did you vote me?
She's putting a show on for sure.
I just can't believe. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You know this man's about to go home and you're just literally like rubbing his nose in it, right?
Does she have fans?
Savannah?
Is anyone pro Savannah? You're on the you're in the internet discourse more than I am.
Yeah, people like Savannah.
I want to know who. I want to know
but
if
listen,
it's...
I don't think it's because it's her. I think it's because of the Rizzo Alliance. I think people like Rizzo. I think people like Sophie. So like just by association, people are like, oh, Savannah.
She's leading them along, or
right.
leading like she's the leader in a lot of ways.
Who? Savannah?
Savannah, yeah.
Yeah.
At least on the surface.
Yeah. I mean, I think Rizzo's right there with her. I think if anything right now, we have at this stage of the game, before we even jump into episode 11, we have Soph that's like, what are you doing? You're third wheeling here. These two people that have gone back and forth and made decisions, right? Rizzo sent Alex home. He orchestrated that. And then, yes, Soph was a part of the sending Jawan home, but it was really Savannah who spearheaded that and like led that charge and was like, hey, I'm going to use this extra vote. And remember, she also shows Sophie that she has the extra vote. She shows her the little, script,
right?
That, so she's trying to buy her trust, basically saying, hey, I don't really care what you do, Sophie, but I have an extra vote. So either you're going to vote with us with the power, or you're going to vote on the opposite side and it's not going to matter anyways. So yeah, it was building trust, but for me, it was like a moment where Savannah was like flexing her muscles, being like, we don't need you, but we want you.
Sure. Well, and we can get into, I think, the end of episode 11, where I think it all came together for Savannah, but I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So
okay.
that's the outcome of episode 10. Jawan goes home. Sage is essentially left on her own. She's not as tight with Steven. I mean, Jawan was her number one, so she's really isolated.
But I will say I think Steven feels tighter with Sage than maybe Sage feels tight with Steven. I think Jawan was definitely her number one. And I think Sage was Steven's number one.
Yeah.
And so now I feel like they're kind of just falling into, each other's number ones, with Christina kind of.
You kind of have to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Where else you're not going to be number one with Rizzo. You're not going to be with Soph, and you're not going to be with Savannah. And those are all the people you want out. So who's left?
So Jawan goes home, and we return to camp to open episode 11.
By the way, fucking hilarious end to his time on Survivor, because we had him taking Savannah's backpack to put sticks in the beginning, remember?
Right.
He also took her water bottle, and then he took Rizzo's torch by accident.
That's so funny.
Rizzo's torch got snuffed without Rizzo being there.
That's amazing.
And I would love to know the stat on that. I don't know it off the top of my head. I don't know if that's ever happened before. Someone takes someone else's torch. But just like so perfect for Jawan's story, started with stealing Savannah's backpack. He ends up stealing accidentally Rizzo's torch.
I feel like for superstitious folks, that's got to be tough to get around. Someone else's torch going out.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah,
if I was
yeah.
Rizzo, I'd be like, that's bad juju. Mm-mm.
It's but awkward when they get back to camp,
so
because
awkward.
It's like just a blindside with a smaller group is always going to bring a lot more
There's
pain.
nowhere to hide, right? There's no room to be like, oh well, like I was just going with the majority. The majority is not a lot of people anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you mean those people right there? That's those two people right there. That's your majority. Okay. So I guess you went with them. But yeah, Sage is not taking it well. She is clearly upset because yes, Jawan was the one who was blindsided and went home. But Sage didn't even know a whisper about it. And Sophie was the one who kind of pulled the rug out from underneath of them when Sage and Jawan and Steven and Christina even thought it was going to go a different way.
So she goes to the beach, and I guess that's when Sophie decides, all right, it's time to discuss what I just did, also known as fucking you over. And something that I want to highlight here, I mean, I think it's one of the lines of the episode, is the first thing she says is, you just handed her $1 million. Her
Yep.
meaning Savannah.
And Sophie's like, no, I didn't.
Yeah,
no,
that's
I
the thing.
didn't.
You have to stop denying shit, because what you're doing is you're basically telling Sage that she's wrong.
Right.
When
You've
she
told her
is
she's wrong
upset.
multiple times, 2, 3, 4 times in this thing, when you're supposed to be going on this apology tour, rebuilding our relationship, like, how do I make you feel better after I just blindsided you thing.
Here's
right?
why I think that Sophie's ego is her downfall in this season of Survivor. And I think that her ego is the reason that she went with Savannah and Rizzo the previous week, because some people were kind of bouncing her name around. She took it personally. And I mean, it's not like, and it's not like she was ever like completely safe to begin with, right? She's been a threat the entire time. But I think that she's also been playing for her resume and not so much about how to get there. I think that she's been playing Survivor thinking
It's
about
Sophie Segretti's Survivor. That's what
yes,
she said a few episodes ago.
how I'm going to win when I'm in the final 3, what I'm going to pitch to the jury versus how am I going to
She
get
even
to the final 3.
said some stuff like that during Tribal too.
Yeah, I think she believed that she was going to be in that final 3 no matter what. So she was playing brashly, if that's a word. She's definitely she's playing in the spotlight. She doesn't care so much about the attention because she wants to be visible. Because visibility when you're making big moves can be super helpful, but it doesn't matter if you can't make it to the end of the game.
Also is helpful when you're trying to get on Survivor 50, when Jeff blows his load in front of everyone at the merge, being like, if you play better, you get on Survivor 50.
Holy shit. I know that she got more vocal around like week 5 or 6.
Sure did.
We talked about this. I mean, this
Sure
is something that like
did.
we put this got some good run on Instagram, on YouTube as well. We talked about how telling them mid-game that they could be on Survivor 50 is going to change the way that they play. I wonder if she's the most guilty of that. And what I want to do to tie it all back around. I would say
her and Steven are the most guilty of hamming it up.
Another example of ego getting in the way here is Sage is telling her what she did wrong. And Sophie's immediate reaction is to defend. It's not even defending herself so much as like no, that's not what I did. She doesn't like that Sage is coming at her.
No, she doesn't. And Sage doesn't give a fuck.
And she doesn't handle that really well.
No.
I think that's just another example of ego getting in the way when really what you're trying to do here is you have to say, I didn't have a choice, or they brought this to me and I didn't know what to do. Anything to salvage, because Sage makes a great point to the camera later on. She says, the mistake is I'm still here. And she's burned me, and she kind of defended her burning of me. She didn't try to level with Sage. She didn't try to manipulate what happened, which it doesn't mean that she's going to be successful, but I think that's better than outright just telling her, no, you're incorrect. I didn't just hand the game to Savannah, when you could argue that she has. If
I'm Sophie, I'm going to Sage. I'm so sorry. You're totally right. Like I was strong-armed. Listen, Savannah came to me. She showed me her parchment advantage that said she had an extra vote. I had no idea about it. She showed it to me 10 minutes before Tribal. She said, you're either with the majority and with my extra vote, or you're in the minority and you're going to vote for the wrong person to go home and you're going to make an enemy out of yourself. That's what if I'm Sophie, that's what I'm telling Sage. Be like, my hands were tied.
Yeah, you have to try and remove all accountability.
Right.
And that's not what she does.
But the issue is then, I guess, would be how did Rizo, Savannah, and Soph know that Jawan and Sage were coming for them? There would have to be a weak point in the people somewhere. Did Steven spill? Probably not. Did Christina spill? She has nowhere to go. Why would she go with them? She actively hates Savannah. Her words. It's not going to be Jawan that spilled the beans that got himself voted out. Well, I mean, at Tribal, he kind of was talking.
But the thing is, like, there are still drawn lines. You can just deny to make it through another day.
Sure, yeah.
But what she doesn't do that.
She took the worst approach possible. And as I'm watching that unfold, I was just like, yeah, Sophie has won the previous immunity. She's won a time before that. She was on the right side of the vote this past time and has been for, I think, the whole game at this point. But I was like, nah, the rest of your game's absolutely fucked now, dude. You chose a side that has no room for you.
Yes. There's
no room. There's no, backlog of trust. It's not like you were on the Uli tribe together. I'm like, girl, it was a misstep for me voting that way.
Here's the thing. She chose a side that, it should be choosing that side for protection. Instead, she chose a side, then used them with an offensive
to make
move.
A big move.
Right.
I'm like, girl, the big move is the Soph, Savannah, Rizo, because they have the idol, because they have these other advantages that you obviously don't know about. But no, that's the big move. Jawan wasn't a big move for Sophie. Was it a big move for Savannah and Rizo and Soph's resumes? Yes, absolutely, because they were gunning for her.
Exactly.
You were just a pawn, Sophie, that you're a mule for information to them, and they were like, great, thank you, sweetheart, pat her on her head.
That's exactly
go
what
on your
happened.
Way now.
This is Savannah's game right now, because Sophie did. I mean, I won't say that she handed her the $1 million, because we don't know until a couple weeks from now who wins, but she handed her the steering wheel.
Absolutely.
If she was already powerful, but now it is her game.
Right, but
until something changes.
But you see, Sophie thought she was in control. She was like, "Oh, I'm the middle person. Now I swung that way, and now I'm the one that's steering the ship." I'm like, "Girl, that move was not yours. You just betrayed trust with someone and used it to fuel someone else's game. You were just the middleman."
It's like we talked about this more when we covered Big Brother 27. paranoia, a little paranoia is healthy.
Yes.
Doubting yourself a little bit is healthy because that allows you to consider everything else that could be going on around you. It didn't seem like she was doing that going into this week.
She was just like, no one can tell me that my decision was bad. Not even the person that I hurt in the process.
The next part of fallout from Jawan going home is Soph coming to Sage the following morning and admitting, hey, I'm not here to go to the final with Rizo and Savannah.
Yeah.
I'm ready to make a move on them, and I want to do it with you, which is probably what I would do if I were Soph. But
if I'm Sage, I'm sitting there like, that's what I wanted to do this time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted to do last time, and the time before that, and the time before that. But no one will fucking listen to me, or I can't get the people to work together to vote together.
yeah, you can't blame Sage for not trusting her here because this is basically what Sophie was telling her the day before or the day before that.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's much grounds for trust.
I'd be like,
which
wow,
sucks.
wow, Soph, what a good idea. Who would have thought of that? I feel like that's like classic, like, you know, being, you know, a person in corporate America is, you know, you can tell your coworkers like, hey, I think I have a great idea. We should do this. Or maybe it's your boss, right? You're like, hey boss, I think, you know, this is how we should run this campaign or do this. And they're like, yeah. And it's quiet for a little bit and they come back. Okay, listen guys, great idea. Big boss man here. How about we do this? And you're like, yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. You're just a man taking my idea and putting your own little twist on it and claiming it as your own.
I think today on this show, we're going to be talking a lot about how Sage is playing an emotional game for better or for worse.
Yeah.
I don't think you can blame her for playing an emotional game with everything
I'll blame
that has
whoever I
happened,
want.
right?
When I want.
Like,
that's what we're here for.
That is, I think her allies being kicked around and going home is just one piece of being really frustrated. This is the other piece of that is, after she gets fucked over, everyone else is coming to her and saying, well, now we can do what you want to do, but I kind of want to own it. Because Sophie later on does the same thing.
Yeah.
Soph and Sophie are individually doing this.
Right, so you're taking the power from Sage and basically like, oh, well, like I'm using you as a number now to get who I want out. And Sage is like, yeah, that's who I've been wanting out.
It's insane that Soph is the only player who hasn't shared her secret advantage with anyone. Advantage, idol, whatever.
I love it. I absolutely
But do you think that this is the moment for her to do that, to build trust with Sage?
Not yet. No.
When is the right time?
I have some scenarios that we can get in at the end where I think I have two scenarios I want to get to at the end where I talk about how Sage can pull it out at the end or how Soph can pull it out in the end. So I think there's a path forward for both of them if they can play this next super, super crucial tribal and immunity challenge correctly.
So we hear a boat and it's time for a journey, which we have. Oh, I like this. This is some Foley work. A Prairie Home Companion
you're
on
welcome.
Backdoors and Blindsides. So Steven decides that he's going to go on a journey. And I think it's because the card reads as a strenuous journey. And everyone's like, I'm not feeling this, dude.
I don't think so. Well, you had some people that were like, I think it was Sage. She was like, well, I'm 50-50. But if you're 100, you can go. And he's like, yep, I am. Sure am. My ass is on the line.
Yeah, good time to go because Christina burned her idol on Steven last week, even though there were no votes for him. That means that his name is being thrown around. He's winning comps or I guess challenges on Survivor.
Which, by the way, pause. Christina, is she the most like selfless person on Survivor ever?
I think so.
She plays an idol for someone. Obviously, she's aligned with him. But then she also gives up a reward to Jawan, not aligned with him, really.
No, not at all.
Kind of like tangentially aligned with him. Like he's like they have some of their best interests in mind for a common enemy. But yeah,
I mean, we'll get to this at Tribal, but like she is the direct foil to Savannah, which is
absolutely.
If I'm in casting, you have to find
absolutely
foils to the most chaotic evil people, to the most
we
neutral
mentioned
good.
it before. Savannah is this season's villain.
Yeah.
And we haven't had that a lot. We've had the Joe and the evil alliance. Look how sweet it is. We had like the ruthlessness of Kyle and undercover like Camilla, like them going back and forth. But like we never truly had a villain last season, or really the season before, or the season before that. So
It's almost like they really need the villain to stick around on this season.
You don't say.
To please, do you think it's okay that Survivor doesn't have a villain? Or does it need to happen every season?
I think the best seasons have villains in it. They had a whole season called Heroes vs. Villains.
Yeah.
What?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, like we've poked at this already, how like the old heads are very condemning of new era Survivor, even in like different ways than like you've pointed out here. And I think part of that.
Head?
No. I've seen discourse from, I'll just say it, other podcasts even, who I would consider are old heads covering Survivor, which is a good thing. And there are
Shout
lots
out Tyson. Is that what you're referring to? Tyson's podcast?
Is that the one?
I think that's the one that you keep, that's popping
is that
up
the
for
one,
you.
the guy with the long hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Tyson.
So that's all right,
but Tyson's a classic player.
Yeah.
He's OG Survivor.
But that's an example of like we're pointing out shit that we like really don't like about the seasons, and a lot of it is like I don't like the nice stuff. I don't like the nice loving stuff. I want to see grit and grime and fucking real tears, and like I want to see aggression. That is something that we haven't really seen this season, is like aggression aside from Savannah. Like Savannah is bringing that in like her own, I think, unique tone, kind of an irritating tone, but that's just something. Yeah, right. If you're casting for Survivor, you need people to play off of each other, and that's certainly coming to like a boiling point with Christina. But to answer your question, yeah, I mean, she is probably one of the most selfless players to be on the beach in a really long time.
I think so.
Yeah. She's like, Joe was more like noble
and nurturing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that Christina is like playing from like a nobility stance so much as just like thoughtfulness. She's always talking about her mom and like just like caring for other people. I guess selfless is the right word, as opposed to, because even Joe was protecting his own, right? Whereas, so that I wouldn't even say that's completely selfless when you're prioritizing one person over the other.
You're talking Joe from 48.
Yeah, Joe from 48, just recent players, right? So Steven goes on the journey, and it is in fact strenuous because
it's grueling.
What he has to do is he has to run. They take him to an island. He has to run the whole perimeter of the island.
Which, by the way, island sick as fuck. It looks so cool.
Oh, it looks so awesome.
Filmed
I mean,
beautifully.
it like just like a lot of Survivor, but like it looks like something out of a movie.
Oh yeah.
I think that they have really been hitting that. We talked about like when Rizzo found an idol in a treasure chest at the bottom of the water and it floated up. I love when they play into that. Same thing with like the tribal set. We see Steven hoofing it around this island. I mean, really looking like he's in fucking Rambo or something like that.
Or
it's awesome.
Uncharted.
Yeah,
he's
that is
Drake.
Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I do think it's funny though. If you look at it, it's these like wide shots of him just like trekking, right? There's probably cameramen at the checkpoints where he needs to find numbers, right? There's probably cameramen there, but the majority of the time, I would guess, is it's filmed with drones and boats, people in boats. So Steven's like just hoofing it around this island. He probably looks over and just sees like about 10 boats all lined up with production filming him. Yeah. And I'd just be like, fuck you guys.
And it's one of those nice boats with like the cabin and the awning and stuff. The one that they took Jake out in. It's not one of those wooden rowboats.
No. They're out there sipping some mimosas as they're filming. And this man is slipping on rocks, busting his ass. The whole time I'm just like, this to me is a recipe for I twisted my ankle and fucked up my leg so bad that I need to be medevaced out of Survivor.
Well, like this is hard Survivor,
yes.
Right? Like this is, I think, what people, like what I just mentioned, what people want is this is hard ass Survivor where, yeah, he's climbing over like wet rock and he's using like just a piece of rope to get from one side of a peak to another. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. And he has to collect 6 numbers to then unlock a box that gives him this metal pole where he has to wade out into the water and smash a pot open where there's an advantage inside. Classic bit. He loses his vote if he doesn't succeed in time, but he does.
And if you don't succeed in time, that part was cool too, because it was based on the tide of the water.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, you have 30 minutes, go. It's like, no, you don't know how long it takes for the tide to rise or whatever.
It's way cooler than an hourglass.
Yes, absolutely. So he went and smashed it, and it was like not even halfway. I was like, boy, you could have been knitting halfway through. you could have been thinking about what lie you needed to concoct once you get this advantage. And he like crushed it, right?
Yeah. He gets his advantage, and that is block a vote.
By the way.
Oh yeah, fucking completely tapped. But his advantage is he can block a vote at tribal, but he must declare it before going to tribal. Not in front of others, but at least to production or to the camera, right? When that person goes to vote at tribal, they'll be informed that it was blocked, but they won't know by who.
Right.
And he returns to camp, and he decides, and this was interesting, he decides to share with them that he won an advantage.
He shares everything. He was 100% honest. He was 100% honest, which I was like.
But he doesn't tell them what it is. He just says, yeah, I completed the challenge and now I have an advantage. Which, at that point, why not just tell them that you lost?
I mean, when I was watching it and he was contemplating, what do I do? What's my story? I don't know. Like, he's also probably having to sit on that beach for a little bit. He's being taken in a boat. Then he's dropped. Like, he has, I would guess, a decent amount of time to actually think about it. If I were him, I probably would have said, I lost my vote. I would have told everything, the truth, except for the very last part. I would have said, I lost my vote. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm nervous as hell. And like, I'm really upset, right? You're already exhausted. Just use the exhaustion to like fuel your sad boy.
He was already crying. He was crying on the beach when he won the advantage. He said, I'm not upset. It's like happy tears. It's just emotion. I think you roll up to camp. You say, hey, everybody, take Christina aside. Again, the selfless, the nurturing, the most caring, and someone that you've been with from the beginning of the game. Just tell her one-on-one, I lost it. I'm sure you can work up some tears next to Christina, who has had such emotional beats already, right? She brings that out of people. Cry on her shoulder. Just tell her you messed up. Then the rest of the gang comes around. You say, yeah, I didn't get it, you guys, but you had to share it with your number one first, right? And then just at any other point, take her aside again. Hey, actually, I want an advantage.
Right. And
that's what I would do.
But don't do it immediately. Do it after
immunity challenge. Do it after immunity.
And when, when the scramble is happening, right? Because everyone's counting out Steven's vote. But the weapon would be he has a block of vote and he still has his vote.
Yeah.
So that's how you weaponize something to be bigger and better than it actually is, right? And I just wanted to be like, oh, just lie. Just tell them that you don't have it. Like, make their head spin a little bit. And he did, like, maybe his way did make he said at least made Rizzo's head spin a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, and Rizzo was like, oh, it's a steal a vote, which is funny to me because when Steven won the block a vote, I was like, well, that's dumb. It should be a steal a vote. And then Rizzo's like, it's a steal a vote. I was like, well, yeah, Rizzo, I also would think it's a steal a vote. So, he was so close to like being on the right scent, and he just took a little. He seems the most
in tune super fan of everyone on the show.
Oh yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, I like to see at least one or two people like that. And I think, everyone's got Survivor knowledge going in, but I think he's definitely got the most going on in his head at all times, which is cool. That's one reason I really like to watch him play. So, and one more thing about lying to your tribe. Like, if it was, day 5, day 7, day 8, I think it would be harder because you've only been out there for so long, right? But it's day like 18 or 19 at this point. No one else even wanted to go on the challenge. I think it's so easy for them to understand, yeah, he didn't get it, because if I went, I wouldn't be able to get it either, the way that he just explained what happened.
Right.
I think, I think that you got to think about the time that you're in on the show, what day you're on, how everyone else feels, and that is how you can determine if it's believable or not, the lie that you want to spin.
Well, I think it's like a riptide, right? Like the waters are calm on the top, and that's how he needs them to be. Mm-hmm. He needs to lie and says, I lost my vote, because then people are like, okay, these are the calm waters. But really, it's this underlying game that he's now playing, and he's undercutting everyone else, and then gonna pull a gotcha, not once, but gotcha twice. You know, I still have my vote, and I'm taking yours, by the way, or blocking it.
So Rizzo is pretty confident that it's a steal a vote. He even tells Steven, I think it's a steal a vote.
Steven's like, okay.
Steven handles it
fine.
Pretty well.
You think what you want.
And then we move on to the immunity challenge.
Well, don't forget, too, Steven was like, I'm glad Rizzo thinks it's a steal a vote, because it's more powerful than the thing that I actually have, which that's good for me. If someone thinks I'm more powerful, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it could be a bargaining chip. It could be a reason to team up. It could be a reason to leave him alone for that moment because they don't want to get into trouble with Steven, right? So, yeah, absolutely right. So it still gets over his lie. I just think that I would have done things a little differently. Sure. I like the idea of spinning more of a narrative. But we get to the immunity challenge, and Steven's having a good episode because we get to the actual like playing field, right? Which it's got a great look to it. And Steven he offers up a Jeff impersonation to lay out what they think the challenge is, because it's a familiar one that we've seen before on the show. And so Steven starts his Jeff impression, and we immediately cut to like the Dream Team sequence of them completing the challenge.
I thought that was
Steven's
awesome.
narration. Yeah, great moment, great edit. And I love when we do get to fuck around a little bit, and we just put a little extra care into the show.
Some extra banter.
Jeff finishes out the description of the challenge, right? So you're wearing a belt that's attached to a rope, that's attached to a reel, connected to a disc. So it's basically a reel that's spinning on its side with a disc on top. You have to move forwards and backwards over a couple speed bumps to collect and then vertically stack blocks that spell immunity from the bottom up.
R.I.P.
What do you mean?
You said bottoms up.
Bottoms up? Yeah,
R.I.P.
R.I. Fish, bottoms up. So right off the bat, everyone kind of plays this challenge the same way. So I didn't really get to see anyone fail for anything, but I would think that the best way to do this is to line up all of your blocks before going back and forth so that you never have to take your eyes off of your stack.
The stack, yeah.
Because what they're doing is, and I'm surprised that this wasn't more of a consequence for people. It didn't look like it was a consequence when Soph dropped, but you're breaking eye contact, you're reaching around, and you're looking for your next letter. I feel like just laying it all out ahead of time is the right way to do it.
Spelling's hard, you know? Yeah. Immunity's a longer word.
Yeah, it's like 7 or 8 letters, but it's a pretty cut and dry win for Steven.
Which, my strategy, and we talked about this a little bit, but I think there's maybe some science in there. I can't prove it, but I think it would help if you if you licked the block.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you brought this up because I forgot to write this down.
I think if you licked the underside of the block, put it down.
Can I say that one more time?
Just, lick the block, and then now you're stacking them on each other. I think it might create like a little like seam almost, like an envelope. You lick an envelope and it sticks together, right? Like a suction cup, if you will.
This is a wood block.
Yeah, but I think it might work.
Why?
Because of my idea and thinking it would work.
Have you used saliva as a bonding agent for anything else besides an envelope?
Are we keeping this PG or what here?
Well, I mean, I'm genuinely curious. I mean, because I feel like that's what you would use to loosen something up.
To loosen? I mean, but it's okay. But if you have like a suction cup, right? We're a big tub time family.
Don't say that.
You know, not
sucks.
together, but like Matt loves a good tub time. It's
a good soak.
He loves a good soak. He goes in our guest bathroom. It's a little deeper.
The Epsom salts.
The foaming Epsom salt bubble bath stuff.
Yeah.
He has a tray that goes over the bath.
I watch movies.
We have I almost said camera. No, you don't want a camera in there. We have a candle in there. And you know, a little head pillow, but we also have
beverage service. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I will bring him beverages. It's a whole vibe up there.
That's normally where I do my homework for Fortress Film Society is in the bathtub. I've never said that on that show.
Oh my god!
It's either the bathtub or the treadmill.
Oh my god!
I don't think they're gonna like that.
We have a little fan blowing if it gets too hot in there, right? It's this whole vibe, but we have a suction cup in there for like a drink holder.
Yes.
Right. How do you get a suction cup to stay
moisture?
And it's not a lot of moisture. You're not sitting there dunking it in the bathtub. You just need a wet finger, rub it on there, put it on.
I understand.
I think it would work.
That'd be amazing if that was the winning trick. All right, you've convinced me.
Yeah. I think just a little amount of liquid goes a long way.
But yeah, that's exactly. Is this like tongue to block, or are you just like firing one on there?
I mean, again, we've talked about this before on the show. I am a recovering germaphobe. I think if $1 million is on the line, I would do a lot of things.
If you're on day 19 of Survivor, I think your germophobia
it's gone.
Gone
it's
out
probably
the
gone
window.
the last. I mean, I was around you and your friends' dorm rooms in college, and that really helped me get over my germ problem.
You remember lick the carpet?
No. Yes, I do. It was a punishment for a game we played.
Yeah. You had to lick the carpet.
Yeah, the disgusting carpet that no one ever vacuumed.
Shout out the D5 gang.
Don't forget to lick the toilet too. That was also
I never
a
licked the
punishment.
toilet. That's fucking disgusting.
Ew, yeah, but people in our sphere have done it. I've seen it with my own eyes multiple times.
They've only done it because we told them to do it. There's nothing making someone do that. We're not
pressure.
a frat. We didn't fucking. It's not like you got to do this or you're not in the gang.
That's true.
We fed them. We
because
gave
if it was
them
on
drinks.
me, if I had to lick the carpet, if I had to lick the toilet, I'd be like, no, fuck you guys.
That's some amazing power that we have.
It is, but I would lick the block.
Okay.
Because like the spitting, it wouldn't be even enough. And it'd be like one concentrated dollop of it.
I feel like you could run out too. You know, like in Jaws. He's like, I ain't got no spit, you know? Yeah.
Right? Like I just need the wet tongue on the block just to create a little seal. I think that would work.
That's good.
No one did it though. I was waiting for someone to do it.
I think we're going to triple our views with this episode.
Why? Because my tongue was out for a little bit of it?
I think there's the algorithm.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
YouTube,
my little sound effects here.
The YouTube algorithm.
Right. If you're listening to it, make sure to watch the video companion.
Yes, full video episodes on YouTube. Backdoors and Blindsides. Check it out. Important to note that Sage and Savannah were close behind Steven winning. And Sophie was for a while, too. She was the only one that dropped. But they seemed to knock it out in a pretty good amount of time. Because Survivor for the most part is showing us challenges in real time until we're like hanging on to the bars in the ocean and shit like that.
Elapsed time, 45 minutes, right? Yeah.
And so this is his second victory, really, this episode. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
And his second immunity win, too.
So, his second immunity win. He's fucking
on a
gassed
high
from the journey. Steven's a cop beast.
Oh, yeah.
Which is cool. And so, like, seriously, like, hats off to him.
Which, by the way, contender for Challenge USA? I think so.
I never even thought of Steven on the challenge.
Right? But when he was running around that island, I was like, this man hasn't eaten right. This man hasn't slept right. He's been in the elements, and he's running around an an island, and he smashed that challenge.
You're right. That island challenge
He's a fit guy.
Very much like something on the challenge.
Yeah. I think Challenge USA comes back around. I think we see Steven on it.
That'd be huge.
I
like Steven. I'd like to see him on TV again.
I could see Rizo on it. I could see Savannah. I could see Soph. I could see Sophie. I could see a lot of the people from this season if they're doing another Challenge USA.
I think Savannah would get eaten alive in the challenge house.
Well, not in Challenge USA, because don't forget, Challenge USA is with other CBS programs.
Sure.
It's like the training wheels for the challenge. Like, okay, everyone.
MTV's the challenge.
Yeah, like, okay, everyone, come on. Like, this is the challenge. All kind of on an equal playing field. You've all been to your own respective competition reality TV shows. Let's all figure out the challenge together. And then it's their next season of the challenge where they get eaten alive when they're with the vets.
Because they're with, like all the people who've been on. They've made careers off of that show.
You're with CT and Bananas, and they're laughing at you.
Shout out Bananas. I fucking love Bananas, dude.
You will say that every time.
So
I think you have a little boy crush on Bananas.
I kind of do.
You do.
I think because he's such an asshole. You know what I mean? I love his bit.
That's right. You do like when people are mean to you.
Yes, I love it. That's why I do a podcast with like 4 different people who were mean to me. Steven's reward is spaghetti and meat sauce, tiramisu, and garlic bread. And he gets to choose 2 other castaways to come with him. He chooses Christina. Makes total sense. She played an idol for him the night before. They've been tight the entire time. She gave up her reward for someone. I mean, it's just like it comes back around.
Absolutely.
Right? And then he actually goes with Rizzo. And another kind of a noble, like a kind, it's a gesture of kindness, right? Because Rizzo hasn't been on rewards in a while. He's been sucking dick at challenges. And so we decided it's time to get him some nourishment. You didn't really dig that move. You never liked the idea of feeding your enemy, right? Fueling your enemy.
Yeah, I was like, you don't know if this is going to be the thing that like helps them get through the next few days, right? Like, yeah, this might have been a nice move on day 8 or 9, maybe, but we're in the situation now where it's you fuel your allies. You don't fuel the competition. And how much is Rizzo really going to scratch your back, Steven?
Yeah. Again, like nice survivor is maybe what we'll coin this, right?
Sure.
That a lot of people seem to have.
Christina choice though, I checked that one off.
Yeah, and it's fun. I always love watching them just like go hard on whatever. But it reminded me because they're eating, like
gorging themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could eat like that all the time.
Dude, I can't imagine what it's like being
no fucks
out there.
are given. You're just like,
eating spaghetti with your hands.
Yeah, how well, I mean, I think they ate it with forks actually. But how just like how much food can you get from that plate to like in your mouth and into your stomach as fast as possible? And like, who gives a fuck what you look like doing it?
It reminded me of a time that we went out for Italian actually, and I remember.
You and I?
Yeah. And I just like, look, when I go out, it's pretty, I kind of stick to my classics. It's normally like a bolognese or just like something red sauce.
I have gotten you out of
like
your default burger mode.
Well, that was like when I was a kid, but just like, I've got my classics. I don't really like spend too much time on the menu.
He doesn't like pesto.
No, I'm not really a pesto guy. I like
I'm not really an Alfredo guy
stuff. No,
either.
God, no. And
the
so
shells that I just made for Thanksgiving had Alfredo base.
That's different. Okay, so the shells have officially crossed into multiple podcasts because it's a topic of conversation every year on CDS as well.
Yes, it's fall stuffed shells with ground turkey, butternut squash, cooked spinach, ricotta, Parmesan cheese on a bed of Alfredo, topped with a little bit more Alfredo, sprinkled with Parmesan cheese and sprinkled with parsley. They are the fucking best.
All right, there you go. Recommend. There you go, Neil. You don't have to bother me for the recipe. So it reminded me of this time, where like I know what I'm getting right away, and you were really struggling with the menu, and so I'm pointing things out. Well, this looks good. I know you've had this before, and you were having a moment just trying to figure out like I don't know why it had to be so special, but it was. And when our server finally came over, I saw this look of like actual like realization on your face. You shut the menu, slapped it down on the table, and said, "Just give me your biggest bowl of imitation crab."
I was like, where the fuck are you going with this? I was like, I do not remember this. What restaurant were we at? No, that's disgusting.
It's your favorite meal.
No, it's not. I would
favorite
never.
People out.
No, I could not tell you the last time I had imitation
Capitol
crab.
Grill, imitation crab in filth.
No, I have a highbrow, refined palate.
You
except
can't say that when you have the fucking seafood at Subway.
Okay, but that's just at Subway. Subway's already like a filth place.
That's not. It's fresh.
No, it's not. That shit's not fresh.
Subway eat filth.
Yeah.
That's you're the new Jared Foot. Well, you're the new spokesperson for Subway. Subway eat filth.
Anyways,
I just wanted to dog for a second. I'm sorry. So while they're at their reward, Sophie, back at camp, goes to Sage and Soph and tells them it's time to do Savannah.
in Sage, if I'm Sage, I'm like, you know what? Great idea. Wow. Look at you go. What an idea.
I'd be so fucking pissed.
I'd be so mad.
And especially because, like, Soph, clearly, Soph with blue Soph, Kella Soph, whatever you want to say, she has been kind of playing in the shadows, right? She's been letting Savannah and Rizo drive the ship as far as, like, optics are concerned. But Sophie has been very visible. As we said before, she's all about the visibility. Mm-hmm. So if I'm Sage, I'm thinking, not only are you finally agreeing to something after fucking me over, you're going to try and take credit for it.
Right.
You're going to try and take credit for this.
Your resume.
Which is, by the way, exactly what Sophie is doing. She says it's time for Savannah because now it can be my move instead of Sage's move, instead of Jawan's move. Again, she's just thinking about finale night and not how to get there.
Which I will say, if Savannah did leave, I think that would put Sophie in a better place. I think Soph and Sophie would have the opportunity to align and, you know, maybe also be now a part of Rizzo's alliance, right? So, yes, it made sense for her, but it should have fucking made sense last tribal when you got out Jawan, you dumb bitch. How about that? But yeah, if I'm Sage, I'm pissed. I'm like, what? Sure, honey.
Back at the reward, Rizo is already pitching Sophie, Yellow Sophie, to both Steven and Christina.
Which, while he was doing that, I'm like, oh, Rizzo's full of shit. When he's pitching to Steven and Christina, I was like, oh, he's full of shit. He's trying to blindside one of them. Well, obviously not Steven because he had immunity. But
you think they were going to do Sage
or Christina? You know, I think that's maybe what they could have done. And I thought he was just bullshitting with them, throwing her out there, being like, yeah, let's get her out. But he was like, no, like, he went back to the camp and was like, yeah, we're going to get Sophie out.
Yeah, and then, like, very quickly it becomes an easy unanimous, which I think would mean it's the first unanimous vote in a while. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of, like, all we get. It's just kind of Sophie checking in with people, saying, we're doing Savannah, right? Everyone's saying, yeah. And then as soon as she walks away, everyone looks at each other. It seems pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, and it's important too. One of his reasonings is that he says that she's voted correctly every time, and because of that, she's a winner's choice. And in addition to being a compy, she's won 2 individual immunities now, right? Like, that's someone who could take it from you, Sage, could take it from you, Savannah, or Soph, or Steven.
How dare you?
I'm sorry.
The show's not over yet.
I'm sorry.
Again, everyone thinks that I'm the one who's going to be an asshole on this show.
She's a sweetheart. She's a selfish sweetheart, but I'm not sure we're winning any individual immunity competitions here.
So what I want to ask is Sage making the right decision here? Because all she's wanted all game long is to get Savannah the fuck out.
No,
through multiple different tribes before the merge up until day 19. They are adversaries. And she decides to go Sophie because she wants revenge for Jawan. She knows that Sophie blew up her spot, caused Jawan to get voted out, put her at the bottom of the game.
Well, guess what, Sage? How do you think that happened? Also from Rizo and Soph and Savannah.
Mm-hmm. I think she's really failing to realize that.
I think she was just blinded by rage and vengeance that she was like, we have to get Sophie. Like, she fucked me over. She fucked Jawan over. Like, let's get her out of here. And I'm like, girl, you finally had people that were willing to do what you wanted. Now, did you trust them? Maybe not, because they kind of fucked you over on the last vote and maybe a few votes before too, and you're not aligned with them. But I'm like, clearly these people are wanting Savannah out. Get Savannah out. Get her out. And I think that's the issue. We saw Sage and Jawan, the Bottoms Up Alliance, and Steven deviate with their vote in episode 9 with the Alex vote. They had an opportunity there. They fucked up. That put them in a poor position and aided to Jawan going home. You know?
This is my attempt at like my tribal analogy talking to Jeff, but I feel like if you've got, if a leak has sprung in your home and you are gone for a couple days, you get home and you realize, oh, this leak sprung 4 days ago. But as you get home, a leak has also sprung somewhere else in the house that same day. Which one are you going to fix first? You're going to fix the one that's been going for 4 days before any more damage is caused. And then you're going to run upstairs and fix the other one. Savannah is the first leak. Sophie is the second leak if you're Sage. You got to deal with the original problem first. And then Sophie is a tomorrow issue. Sure, she doesn't have immunity, but neither does Savannah. And you know what Sophie was? Savannah's biggest competitor, aside from Steven.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And I think this was a huge misstep by Sage. And I hate saying that. I love rooting for her. I think she's been stumbling the last few tribals. I think Bottoms Up Alliance kind of got split up on the vote, on the Alex vote. And then her number 1 went home in episode 10. And now she's like, I don't know what the fuck to do, but I'm pissed at Sophie. So like, I'll aim my targets at her because, again, let's vote with the enemy. How many times have we voted with the enemy? Why are we doing this?
Because it's like guaranteeing that they're going to be on the right side every time because you're giving them majority.
Yeah, pretty much.
And this is like a pretty easy segue into tribal, right? Because the rest of tribal, they are kind of talking about playing with your emotions instead of your logic, your strategy. I guess is a better word.
And I think people were saying too, like, oh, like Sage is an emotional player. To a certain extent, yes, but the other extent that none of these people really know, except maybe some of Jawan and some of Steven, is like she is an extremely strategic player. Extremely. She is able to align in a certain way with people. She's able to see moves ahead. She was able to keep that Christina had an idol to herself for a little bit of time. She did eventually tell Jawan, which I was like, no. But she's cunning, right? And I think a lot of people just see her as that emotional player, but I'm like, you're more than that. This is not one of those cases that's helping me support that theory, though. I'm like, no.
Something I want to highlight here is when it's Sage's turn to speak at Tribal, she talks about revenge, which is clearly like the theme of the whole episode. It's the theme of the vote against Sophie. It's revenge. It makes sense that Sage would be talking about revenge. It's a bummer because it's clouding her judgment in what should be a strategic move, but it's not. The other person who chirps up about revenge is Savannah. What revenge does Savannah have to pursue? What about getting out Sophie or anyone else is truly revenge? Nate went home 4 weeks ago. There's no justice for Nate at this point, right? That is not anywhere.
Because Sophie threw Savannah's name out.
Exactly. But at the that's one of, guess what? So is everyone else in the fucking game, right? So is that really revenge? It's not. What this means is that Savannah is getting exactly what she wants. She's taking ownership in front of the jury of what's about to happen.
Yeah.
It's not just Vengeful Sage. It's Savannah using Vengeful Sage
for
to
her
get
own
out
agenda.
One of the biggest players, probably her biggest competitor in the game at this point. And if you don't recognize that, if you're Sage and you don't recognize that, that's when you should realize, oh, I fucked up. I'm giving her exactly what she wants. Now I'm the one who could be handing her $1 million.
Right. And now what? Now what do we have? We have 3v3? How's that going to work? You're voting with you and Steven and Christina are voting against this other trio that has now run the past 3 tribals. Really?
It's brutal.
That's what you're going to do?
Sophie's voted out 6-1. It is a unanimous vote.
And not before, though. Jeff was trying to poke a little bit at Christina and Savannah's relationship. Now, back in episode 9, we get Christina saying that, I think just to in a confessional to the cameraman, saying that Savannah gives off mean girl energy.
Which we've said before on the show as well.
Yes, absolutely. And then you have Christina say the word hate.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking out of pocket.
That she hates Savannah. And Savannah was like, whoa. Oh, okay, sorry. Extremely dislike or whatever
that's
she
pretty
said.
good.
And I was like,
interesting.
I
It's a terrible idea to just be throwing that out there at Tribal, especially with a week left in the game. But it was nice to just see someone just kind of fucking give it to her.
Yeah.
I mean, in the most passive aggressive way.
Yeah.
But it's something, right?
But it's like, I see Savannah move in this game. And if she moves in this game at all like she does in her normal life or in her work life, I'm almost just like, was it your coworkers who were mean, or was it the other way around and they didn't want to be near a mean person?
We should get her on and ask her.
So that, no, no thanks. Right. But like, were you being the condescending, kind of snippy, mean one, and people didn't like that, so they gravitated away from you and started to exclude you? Or was it everyone against you? You know?
I mean,
watching this season, it seems like maybe it was not truly how she perceived it and her reality that she lived in.
I think that you can be a villain on a show like this without just being like, she's just kind of shitty. You know what I mean? Like, she's just kind of shitty to people, and like that doesn't, like, I think being a villain on the show can mean a lot of different things. You could be a backstabber. You could be an amazing liar and be a villain.
You can talk shit in confessionals, right?
Yeah, you can take down the favorites, everyone's most beloved players, everyone's friends, the people who bring the best vibes. Like, that can be villainous. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know if there's a better word than she's kind of shitty.
Yeah. I mean,
I wish I could just call the episode that, kind of shitty.
I mean, she even goes to Christina before Tribal, right? And looks at her and says, who are you voting for?
Oh, shit, that's
and
right.
Christina's like, I need a minute. And I'm like, what? A minute? What do you mean? She literally just like takes 3 steps to the side and like doesn't face Savannah. I'm like, girl, play the game. You are actively playing the game. And you're like, time out a second. I need some time to think. Just fucking say something. And they went back and forth. Well, who are you voting at? Who are you voting at? Okay, well, you guys are clearly not on the same page. So why are we even having this conversation?
Yeah, I wonder, I mean, if the show continues to go the way it's been going, I think we might see a larger source of conflict next week.
I hope so.
Maybe not an explosion, but some fire between the two of them. And it would be, I mean, it'd be cool. Maybe Christina does have, a side that runs hot, and then we can see that. We can really see her like lay into her or something like that. But yeah, what it comes down to, still crazy to just say, yeah, I hate this person. I've been writing her name down and I'll continue to write her name down. That doesn't help.
No.
You tell Jeff, I don't know what you're talking about, Jeff. I love everyone here and I'm voting with everyone.
I'm voting on the side of the numbers tonight, Jeff. Like,
easy.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Sophie goes home. Sure.
Well, but I mean, we talk about emotional games. Christina's clearly playing an emotional game. If she's going for Savannah I mean, there are plenty of reasons to go after her, but the reason that she continues to write her name down is because she doesn't like her. It's just not the best place to be. But also, there's a good chance that I think Christina ends up in the finale.
If I'm any one of those other players, I'm bringing Christina's ass with me to Final Three. Congrats, you got the nice award this season.
That's a given,
right? Like, no one's voting for you though.
Yeah,
no one's voting for you to win, because yes, you found an idol. Yes, you played an idol. We'll give you credit for that. But it wasn't the best credit. It's like a C- at best, because you played it for Steven, who, yes, he could have been on the chopping block, but he got 0 votes. So it's like, was it, that's a moment that haunts players, I think, but not as much as going home with an idol in your pocket. Rizzo.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing that, gosh, I wish we could pull, all right, next week we'll pull the streak. I'm sure it'll be when he plays it finally. Like, who has held on to an idol the longest? I guess it only matters if he actually plays it versus goes home with it.
I mean, hidden immunity idols used to be sick as shit. They used to be these like cool medallion looking things with this like, an etching or this like little sculpture guy thing that like they'd have to be like, how the fuck do I hide this? Now it's like a string of wimpy ass beads. And I think they do it because they want to encourage people to make fake idols. Rizzo,
like
again.
Rizzo, yes.
Yeah, they love a fake idol, but he didn't even play it in like a very interesting way. It wasn't like he hid it and someone else found it. They thought they had an idol and they played an idol, and then Jeff was like, it was not an idol. We've seen that before. That's
I appreciated
fun.
the bit. I feel like it was at the wrong time.
Yeah. Well, he even said it was at the wrong time.
Yeah.
He was like, well, I wanted to play mine first so that Christina played hers.
He's auditioning just as bad as Sophie is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But let's get into my scenarios.
Okay. And then scenarios, and then I want to debut a new segment, and then we'll do Outwit, Outplay, Outlast.
Sure, that sounds great.
The segment's more behind-the-scenes talk.
Okay.
Inside baseball.
Okay.
All right, so
you're looking
scenarios.
very serious over there, and I'm a little worried now.
I'm very serious.
I'm afraid you're going to weave in imitation crab again.
It's a serious podcast. No. I take this very seriously. Yeah.
Okay. So how can Sage get back on top? How can she get power? This is how it happens. Sage, we just voted out Sophie. Sage goes back to Savannah and Sage goes, Savannah, I know we haven't been on the same side a lot. We just voted together to get Sophie out. I would like to continue to vote with you. I don't have anyone. Y'all just got rid of Jawan. I shouldn't trust you, but I'm coming to you to try to salvage something and get us both further in this game, because clearly I can't get you out. You can't get me out. Let's just work together. Frenemies, right? And Savannah, the way that we're going to do that is Soph came to me and said she wants your ass. So your number 1 or 2 ally, either Rizzo or Soph, is trying to get you. So Sage can set up a stage to Savannah to be like, Soph and Savannah go at each other, right? She sets that up. Sage then goes to Savannah and Rizzo and says, hey, the 3 of us, we're going to vote Soph out. She has an amazing story. She was the only surviving Kella member. She's been to every tribal or almost every tribal. She has this huge underdog story. She's gonna kill us all in the final. She's gonna run away with it. We have to get Soph out. She sells it to Rizzo and Savannah. Rizzo and Savannah go, yeah, okay. They think that Steven and Christina are also gonna be on board with that, right? They say it's going to be unanimous against Soph. She'll never see it coming, right? But this is what actually happens. That's all the front that Sage could put on. Then she goes back to Steven and Christina, and she goes, listen, we're voting Savannah. We're finally going to get her. And this is how the votes would play out. Savannah and Rizzo vote against Sophie. Remember, there's only 6 of us now. We need either 4 votes or we need some fuck shit to happen in there and have, 3 votes, right? If there's, a few names thrown out. So we need Steven, Christina, and Sage to actually use that whole thing as, this turbulence that they've created. Savannah and Soph are turning their guns on each other, blow that up. The 3 of them, Sage, Steven and Christina vote out Savannah. Savannah and Rizo are now voting against Soph. It doesn't fucking matter where Soph votes. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. She could vote with Steven or Savannah. Doesn't matter who she votes for. And Savannah goes home by basically a double blindside because Sage went to her and said, I'm with you. And then she's not. And they get her out in a blindside. And Steven maybe doesn't even have to use his block a vote. He can use it if he wants for insurance. Maybe he blocks Savannah's vote to make sure that, nothing fishy goes on, or, them and Soph, the Rizo alliance isn't actually super tight. And maybe they're playing it up that there's cracks or whatever, and they're really trying to get Sage or Steven. He can use that. But I think that is like a flawless way for Sage to kind of maneuver that. And it all starts with her going to Savannah and saying, Soph came to me and said she wanted you.
Damn.
Right?
It's a lot to believe, but I feel like it works. I feel like it works because at this point you have to be doubting your group of three. If you're Rizo or Savannah.
The last two people went home because Savannah got a whisper that person was coming after her.
Holy shit, you're right.
Jawan went home because she found out that he was saying her name. They were going to vote.
She's been like quote unquote striking first.
Yeah, she's trying to snipe them from the building over, right? So Sage, you're smart enough to see it. I know you've seen it. We've talked about before how she plays into the idea of perception, how if someone says, oh, Sage is just a silly, goofy girl, she's like, sure, I'll be that silly, goofy girl to you, but I'm also then going to cut your head off and you're not going to see it coming. And I will play that part of me up if that is what makes you feel comfortable and that's what you like, in a chameleon a little bit. So if she can leverage the fact that Savannah is bloodthirsty for anyone who says her name, right? Except yeah. I don't know why they're not turning on Sage and why it was Jawan and not Sage. Unsure. They didn't really address that.
I think they viewed Jawan as a more social threat. He was more over with everyone on the beach.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think Jawan was over with everyone besides Savannah. Like Rizo loved him.
That's true.
Steven loved him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Sage was maybe a little more prickly, but I think if she can leverage what Soph told her, if she can leverage the fact that Savannah is bloodthirsty for anyone saying her name, I think she can create chaos in the Rizo alliance and then use that chaos as a distraction to get her number one target out, Savannah.
And I'll add to that.
Yeah.
Now that you've convinced me.
Well, I have a second scenario too. So
she, in Savannah's eyes, she is a pawn. Sage is a pawn.
Yes.
Sage has done what Savannah wanted her to do.
Yes.
So you feed that perception, as
the ego.
That word, as like this person, I've already got this person operating the way I want them to. So of course they would come to me because now they are respecting me as the person in power.
Right.
Shit.
So my second scenario, and that is the scenario that I just went over, is Sage owning that move. She's the catalyst. She's the one doing that.
Because it's going to be the biggest move of the game, probably, to get Savannah out, right?
Right. The thing we're not talking about, though, is Soph's knowledge is power advantage, which, again, we mentioned she has kept close to her, and she's been able to keep her trap shut and not tell anyone.
And what's a reminder of what that advantage is?
Knowledge is power is that once at tribal, she can say, hey, so-and-so, do you have an idol? And that person has to answer truthfully. And if they do, they have to relinquish that idol or advantage to Soph. Rules of the game.
Okay.
So this is how Soph stops playing in the shadows, and she owns pretty much the same move, but from a different perspective. So Soph needs to do something for her resume, because right now, like we mentioned before, it's Rizo who got Alex out. It's Savannah who got Jawan out. right? It's Savannah who then got Sophie out.
Yeah.
Too.
She has survived through relationships, but she hasn't been making a lot of moves.
Right. We need an explosion. We need something a little flashier for you to do. Yes, you have your underdog story, but is that enough? Because that happened in the first third of the game. What about the other 2/3? You just are riding Savannah and Rizzo's coattails? Because I think if I'm Savannah and Rizzo, that's what I would say about Soph. Like, oh, she was just a number for us if I'm sitting in one of the final 3 chairs, right? This is how Soph gets her game-winning move. She uses her knowledge is power to take Rizzo's idol. She then works with Steven to block Savannah's vote. We have Soph, Steven, Sage, and Christina voting out Savannah. Now, the interesting part of 6 in the game, right? Right now, Soph is not guaranteed a seat at the end. No one is, right?
Yeah.
You know who has the best chance at a seat at the end right now? Rizzo, because he has an idol. So he can get through this next tribal, or if he wants to keep it in his pants like he has been, he could use it to get to the final bigger tribal, which is 5, which 5 is arguably the scariest tribal because you're right fucking there. You can smell the finish line. You are right there. So what this would mean is that, yes, she fucks over Rizzo, but Sage is the bigger competitor of them because we've seen Rizzo shit the bed in some of the comps lately, right? So this is what Soph needs to do. She needs to take his idol with the knowledge is power. He would never see it coming. She knows exactly where it is, right? So it's not a game of like, ooh, is he gonna try to hide it with Savannah and give it to her or whatever? Mm-hmm. No, she uses that. She gets Savannah out, her biggest competitor, and now we have 5 people left. Guess what, Sophie or Soph? You have an idol now. You are guaranteeing yourself, you're going to use it at the 5 tribal. You are guaranteeing yourself a spot at 4, which means at minimum, you are fighting in fire.
Holy shit.
To get to the end. And that is how Soph guarantees minimum 4th place if she loses in a fire-making competition and doesn't convince the winner to take her to the end with her, or if she doesn't win herself. And she uses Rizzo's idol for herself at 5. Who cares who she's next to? She wins this game if she makes that move, I think, in the eyes of the jury.
I think that's the most interesting, that's the most exciting way for this game to play out.
Yes. And maybe there's a little column A, column B of what happens here. I think the next tribal will be super fucking messy, and people are itching for that finale, are itching to pitch themselves to the jury. But I think Soph needs a move, and she knows she needs a move too. And what better move than to blindside one of her biggest allies by being a catalyst to vote her out, right? And she needs Steven. She needs Steven to block Savannah's vote to ensure that they have the votes against Savannah. And then she's going to she's going to basically, disband her other ally and take his idol for her own self-gain and to push herself forward. I mean, I just think I would love to see it. And I think she's
capable of it. She's proven that she's smart.
And we've been teeing up for several episodes now, like, oh, when am I gonna go against my allies? When am I gonna do it? Is it a right time? Now is the time. If there hasn't been any other time before, do it now.
I think that's a guarantee win for her.
That's a guarantee win for her. Jury would love that. She has the underdog story already. That's her first third or half of game. The middle of her game is building relationships, like not wanting to call the shots, but being a part of all of it and making sure that she knows where all the votes are going to be and to be nice with everyone. When's the last time someone said her name? And then we talk about cherry on top, which was the name of this episode, but that would be the cherry on top for her, is to get some big blindside move under her belt. She is vicious here. She is here to win. She is here to play. She is not here to, let Rizzo and Savannah hold her hand to the end.
This changes the tone of the segment that I had planned out.
Okay, sorry.
But I think it still applies. Which one do you think is more likely, by the way? Sage or Soph?
I think it's Soph.
I think so, too.
I think Soph is more likely. She has the knowledge is power. She wants to use that advantage, right? It's burning a hole in her pocket at this time. There's only one known idol in someone's hand. How is she going to get that idol? She would be able to survive the next 2 votes. She would guarantee a spot on the finale episode if she moves in this way. Right? So.
And this is why you don't tell people about the shit that you find.
Exactly. Because then Rizo could be spooked by it. If Rizo knew that she had a knowledge is power advantage, he could be spooked by it, give it to Savannah. And then if she was like, hey, Rizo, give me your idol. And Rizzo's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have an idol on me. Then it would be wasted and Soph's advantage would be thrown in the trash. And then Rizo would automatically distrust her and it'd be a whole thing. But because she's been able to keep this so quiet, you need to strike at the right moment in the most inconspicuous way. Inconspicuous? Inconspicuous. Sneaky.
Damn. Let's see it happen. That'd be sick.
You heard it here first.
We need something.
That's what happens.
It's gotten a little stale because one person keeps getting what they want, and that's not interesting.
Yeah.
And I know that they're all about keeping Survivor interesting because this is the time to debut a new regular segment on Backdoors and Blindsides. It's time to attack CBS.
Let's go. I love a little network attacking.
I'm going to have some production made up for this as well.
Okay.
So we love attacking the network on this show.
Because we know it can be so much better.
Yes.
And when I see the bullshit they do, I'm like, I fucking see it. I see right through you. I see what you're doing here. I can't be manipulated as a viewer as easily as you think. You think I'm a peasant that's just eating up your slop. No, I'm gonna hold you accountable, and I'm gonna make sure I'm getting the best product possible, and that means critiquing it.
I know it's not always very fun to be watching, a movie with someone and they point out, well, hey, like that's actually like not real, or that's what they're doing this.
Oh,
so,
I
like,
do that all the time, especially with like guns and like the like bullet count. I was like, they've literally shot like 18 times from this pistol, and like it's 6.
I got a movie podcast you'd love to host.
Oh, I'm sure.
And smart marks watching wrestling. It's this is what they're doing. This is how they're playing this up. This is what's going on in the locker room behind the scenes. I can't help it. It's like how I'm wired. I love TV. I love the idea of like what goes on behind the scenes and shit. And we're always thinking that way when we're watching competition reality TV, Big Brother, Survivor as well. If you're a producer, it's your job to keep the show interesting.
Right.
That's your first fucking job.
You got to manhandle. You got to puppeteer. You got to make sure. Yeah.
They are
Engine's
so
well-oiled.
Fucking bad at hiding the fact that they are manipulating this game to keep it interesting. And I think that if you are the producer of probably the biggest competitive reality TV show in the world in history, be better at your fucking job. Figure it out. You don't get to be a producer at Survivor without knowing how to play this fucking game. It is so obvious over the last couple of weeks that they are keeping Savannah in this game because she has made an enemy of every single person besides Rizo and Soph. And when you start at the merge, when you're like 11 deep, I'm sorry, there's no way that you can make it that far unless you win individual immunity.
Huh, you don't say.
We talked about this on our last podcast episode. So all the way back to episode 8 of Survivor 49, the individual immunity challenge was split up into 2 teams.
The wall bracing.
This was the wall bracing, yeah, where you're basically using your arms and your legs to hold yourself between 2 walls as long as possible.
They get the cameraman with the biggest foot fetishes in there.
We're looking at the Tootsies.
Yeah.
It's an endurance challenge. And this is hot off of sending Nate home, right? Burning original Uli twice. Yep. Because right before the merge, they send Shannon home. The Bottoms Up Alliance does. And then they successfully lie around that. But then they shock the whole tribe by sending Nate home, letting Savannah and Rizo know, and Soph, you guys, we are not aligned with you guys.
On the bottom. They're on the bottom. Yeah.
So I'll just briefly recap what we've already talked about, which is this wall competition. They split into teams, and each team basically gets to have a member that wins individual immunity, right? Or they win it for their entire team, sending the other team to tribal. It was like a 4v4 or 5v5 or something
5v5,
like
yeah,
that. Meaning that there is a greater chance that anyone, but in this case, Savannah, is safe, because that means that she has a 1 in 5 chance instead of a 1 in 10 chance. And this goes for anyone. It's a great sign that you have a 1 in 5 chance.
And Savannah and Rizo were on 2 different teams.
They sure were.
So that, or groups rather. So that means at least one of them will be safe. And then the other one has an idol.
There's an idol to be played. I think that it was pretty fucking obvious, in my opinion, that they rigged I'm going to say they rigged this comp.
Oh, rigging comp. That's a strong word. You got a pretty thick tinfoil hat on over there, buddy.
They devised this comp to keep her protected in the best way possible without just handing her the immunity necklace.
And historically, for that comp specifically too, Savannah is the body type that wins that type of competition.
Well, this is what's so frustrating, is that by the end of this comp, Savannah is the last person overall who is standing. So she wins for her team, but she also would have just won the whole fucking thing if it was all 10 of them up there competing individually.
Yeah.
Savannah is capable of winning competitions. She proves that, right? So It's like, if I'm this producer that I am creating for the sake of the show, I see that happen and I go, you know what? We didn't even have to do this insurance. She won it on her own. Let's let her play. No, it's not good enough, because she's so awful to all other players. She is such an obvious target of let's all gang up on her and get her the fuck out of this game so we can move forward.
Well, she also won, I think, the biggest reward or competition challenge in the whole season so far. She got over with everyone else on her side because she won, right? She got individual immunity. She also got an extra vote, and she got to go sit in on the losing group's tribal. That is the most power that any single player has had this entire game.
Yes.
Was that moment right there. And I just think it was too much power to give a single person. I'm like, they won immunity and they're safe. That seems like enough power.
Well,
but then you gave her 2 extra power-ups on top of that.
Well, that's, so you just explained it. You know, we're in the production room. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, we should probably just stop here. Like, this is going to get her far. No.
We have to ensure it.
No. Episode 9 rolls around. We decide this is another endurance challenge, right? Where they have their feet pressed up against this board to try and keep something in place, right?
Yeah.
It's legs, it's hips, it's ankles, it's feet.
Pilates almost.
It's another grueling physical challenge. Okay. Damn. Well, we know Savannah's already pretty good at this, so she's got pretty good odds. What does Jeff pull out at the beginning of this challenge? A second immunity necklace.
We're going to go women and men.
We got boys and girls today.
Which they have done that in the past. They have.
Okay. Have they done it this soon? After something that was so obviously a move to protect someone on the game to keep them involved? I mean, dude, you might as well just write favorite on her fucking forehead. You shouldn't waste her time even sending her to tribal. It was so obvious to me that they are making sure that there's as many chances. It's not like they're giving it to her, but they're making sure that there's many chances as possible for her to save herself in this game and give herself immunity, which is what she does, by the way. She wins again, which, again, fucking annoying that she's clearly capable. She was the longest standing person. Now, had she had lasted against Steven, we'll never know. But wouldn't that have been so much more interesting?
Yes.
To see these two physical people on opposite sides of the game go at each other than Sophie, who's been riding the middle?
Yes. Getting hot and
It's
bothered
just so
over
fucking,
there.
it's because it's annoying. It's like they're treating us like we're stupid. Like we're not smart enough to see that they're keeping her around. Because here's the thing. I think this season, the biggest storyline ongoing has been Savannah versus Sage. They don't want Savannah versus Sage in the finale. If anything, they want Savannah versus Soph, because that's where the drama is. And that scenario that you just pitched plays beautifully into them keeping Savannah around. Do I think that they're protecting her to win the game? No. But I think
She doesn't win the game.
They're keeping her around for this move to be made on her.
She's burned damn near everyone in the jury, except maybe Nate.
But let her earn her spot to stick around in the team, which she has, right? So then take all this extra bullshit away, is all I'm asking. And that concludes Backdoors and Blindsides' favorite segment, Time to Attack CBS, here on the program. Any final thoughts?
No, I think you're spot on. You're really heated there.
It was fucking. It's obvious. I don't like being treated like a toddler.
Yeah.
Like we've all seen this show. Shit, dude. I've seen this show way less than most people have. That's a great thing to admit while I'm trying to pretend that I'm qualified to host this podcast. But seriously, like I've seen, I'll just say, far less seasons than Meg has.
Yeah. I've seen every single one.
And it's so in your face what they're doing here. And I need them to at least be sneakier about it. The second immunity necklace is fucking crazy. We all knew what was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And that will continue to happen until I guess their hands are tied and they finally find a way to get Savannah. They, being production's hands are tied, and the rest of the game finds a way to get Savannah out.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, shows like this love an underdog story. It's almost like, you know, the American dream, right? You start out with nothing, times are hard, and then you rise to victory. They love it. And guess who plays that? Soph. I think they prioritize Soph's rise to underdog story over Savannah's villain chaos. I think that's where, you know, maybe those two producers, that one's in charge of producing Soph and one's in charge of producing Savannah, I think that's where maybe they clash a little bit. But I think in this scenario, this would put Soph over huge.
And I want to make it clear, too, like, I'm not undermining Savannah as a player. She's an enormous threat in this game. She has been, really from the start. She's been running the show. She's been manipulating people. She's had her puppets. But if she does win, say we tune in next week, Soph completely fucks up, she gets out. Sage is even in an even greater minority. Sage gets out, whatever. Savannah goes to the final. Savannah wins Survivor. It's going to be a Mickey Mouse ring.
Yeah.
It's not going to be I think a true respected win because of this like help I think that she's gotten.
I don't think she wins though. I don't think Savannah sitting next to any of these other five people, I don't think Savannah wins with the jury. Who's she going to get? Nate's vote? Well, if Rizzo's sitting next to her, Nate could also vote with for Rizzo, right? So,
but I think that's a lot of variables. That's a lot of that's a gamble that production is taking here, because you want your winner, you want your champion to have the game to back it up, and she does without all this extra stuff that they're giving her. But because they are doing this, it's going to diminish it. And I'm not saying like we as an audience, we don't think that she's going to win. But if I'm in a production meeting and we're trying to figure out, how do we keep Savannah in the game? I'm going to raise my hands and say, well, hey guys, if she does make it to the end, if somehow she turns things around and steals the hearts of every member of that jury, this is going to be embarrassing for us. And it's going to be embarrassing for her, because I don't think that people are going to be able to get around the fact that, she had some of these layups. Or at least we know that they were trying to give her some layups.
That are paying attention won't be able to get around it. The average slop consumer is like, sure.
Yeah. Well, that's why all of our listeners listen to this show, because our listeners aren't the slop consumers.
Yeah, you're in the know.
We do this show for smart people.
Right.
Who love the TV that we love.
You can't pull the wool over my eyes,
No,
CBS.
I see everything. And maybe when we do Traders, maybe we'll have a kinder relationship with NBC, because this is now the second show in a row that we've completely dismantled their production strategies.
Well, I mean, I think, we talk about Big Brother being the more like the harder to produce show, right? Because you're trying to weave these storylines almost as they're happening. And so, you don't have a lot of turnaround time to produce an episode. Survivor has been, they've shot this like a year ago or whatever at this point. And they've had time to edit and go back and edit and edit some more and manipulate the footage and edit some more, right? So Survivor is definitely a more produced product than something like Big Brother that is just pumping out so much content so quickly. They're just trying to keep up with their own schedule. I would say Traders is even more produced than Survivor. So I think that will come with its own challenges, and that's a little more closer to just kind of a scripted show, I think.
Apologies if we're warping someone's viewing experience.
No, fuck forward. You guys. You have to be burdened with how we view it.
Take the red pill. All right, I take the red pill every fucking time, baby. I'm gonna be on the Nebuchadnezzar. I am not a machine. That's it. Can we do the 3 pillars? My ass hurts so bad.
Well, at least it's not on fire with the fireplace behind you.
I know, but I'm in real pain.
Yeah, that chair really isn't padded at all. You're just kind of sitting on a brick over there.
3 pillars of Survivor: outwit, outplay, outlast. Starting with outwit, who we got?
Well, I didn't write it down.
Oh, I wrote it down.
Okay, great.
It's Soph. It's Soph with an I. It's blue Sophie. She plays with every side, every layer of the game in this episode. She is sticking with her core alliance, old Uli, right? Rizo and Savannah. She's also playing with Sage, or she's offering to play with Sage, and she's being genuine, right? Just because Sage doesn't believe her doesn't mean that she's not making the right move here, and I think that could change over time. She's also playing with Sophie. She's got at least 2 of the 3 side. We'll call like the middle. Sophie is kind of on her own island, or was R.I. Fish, and she's playing it all the correct way. She's not visibly playing the middle, and on top of all of that, she, as we mentioned, has not told anyone in the game about her advantage.
Which hopefully pays off for her in this next episode, where it's kind of one of the last times she can use.
I don't think that anyone knows that she is playing as deep as she is. I mean, now it's going to be easier to see as the group shrinks, but that to me is the greatest example of outwit, is that you're just operating on a level that no one else knows about. None of your allies, none of your
And that's why she needs that explosive move of stealing Rizzo's idol and getting out Savannah in my scenario.
Outplay has to go to Steven.
Yeah. 2
huge physical wins in one episode, winning the journey, winning the advantage at the journey, right into winning individual immunity, in an endurance competition, and then into something that is kind of the opposite. It requires a lot of patience, a lot of finesse. Like we said, he's destined for Challenge USA or another show like that. Dude is an incredible physical competitor. So Outplay is for Steven.
Absolutely.
And Outlast could go to a number of players here because as the group shrinks, there's a lot of moves being made to protect yourself just as much as to get other people out. But we're going to go with Sage, even though Sage's strategy did not show very well. I think strategy is more aligned with outwit, right?
Yeah.
And her strategy wavered in this episode because she played emotionally. But if you want to pinpoint what was good about her decision is she did decide to work alongside her enemies. She moves with Rizo and Savannah here, meaning, okay, you just got my number one out. I think I would be an easy target, but I'll work with you guys to get someone else out. I just think that it's a defensive move.
It's that anyone but me mentality. Shout out Sandra, right?
Yeah. It's a defensive move that it keeps her around. It's not just like, I mean, I'll just compare it to Christina. Like, Christina's name is not being written down, but I don't think that qualifies her for Outlast because I don't think that she's really doing anything to keep herself around. It's just there's a lot more noise going on around her, right? Sage protects herself, which to me is outlasting.
Yeah, absolutely. Great.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for reels. Sometimes we'll throw on polls. We are followed by several members of this current cast. Sage likes our shit. Sophie likes our shit. Steven likes our shit. Go and like our shit on Instagram at Backdoors and Blindsides. We're also on Threads at Backdoors and Blindsides, on X at Backdoor Podcast, and again, full video episodes on YouTube. Please go to YouTube, subscribe, watch the fucking video in full, leave it on in the background. I don't care. And again, shout out Chad for putting us over on his show, and anyone who's checking us out because of that. Next week, we see if Meg's got these scenarios nailed down.
I'm feeling good about my Soph scenario.
Look, we predicted the winner of Big Brother like 4 weeks in advance.
We did.
We have had a pretty good track record of figuring out how the show is going to go. It's almost like we should be the ones running these shows.
And I will say, too, I've heard a lot of people say there's a lot of spoilers out there for this season and for next season. I know zero spoilers.
Yes. We are intentionally avoiding anything that could ruin the experience of hosting this recap show.
Yes.
Because that's not interesting if we know how it ends.
We have integrity.
It's not going to be a good podcast if there's nothing organic if we know how this is going to go.
Yeah, and I'm already building myself up for being upset because the way I've watched Survivor in the past is, you know, the first episode I'm like, you're my favorite player. I'm going to be loyal to you and I'm going to root for you the whole time. Maybe I have a couple of them, right? It's usually a buff guy with longer hair. That's just how it goes. Shout out. You know, I really like Sage this go around.
Me too.
And it's been a long time since I have identified a player that I've liked as much as Sage, and I'm worried for my mental health come the next couple episodes. So I'm gonna be real sad here if I have to see Sage go.
Well, the good news is you have what all other mentally ill people do. You started a podcast.
That's true.
Coming to you live from inside our living room. I'm Matt.
And I'm Meg.
We're Backdoors and Blindsides. The vibe has spoken.